Welcome to Casual Conversations. I am your host, Ryan Bean, here with my co-host, Elena Sweetser.
Welcome
and we
back.
are here talking all things life, kids, marriage, business, and
fun.
try to give you guys some insight to our thought processes, and maybe there's some advice that we can give that can help you guys along your journey we call life. So Thank you guys for being here with us. And today is my topic, as you guys know. I don't even know, last year sometime we decided to bring a topic to the conversation that the other person did not know about. Mm-hmm. That way it just kept more raw. We kind of got engaged in more real conversation. Yes. And today's my topic. And I thought we would discuss something I am not good at.
Uh-oh.
But to be very clear.
Let me get the list out.
Yeah, it's a long list for sure. But this is something I'm particularly not good at. Patience.
Why would you want to talk to me about that? I don't have any of that.
That's why I'm hoping we help each other out. So I'm thinking if we talk through this, we might be able to learn something through this. So
this is our therapy session today.
It is. This is where it gets real, because I am not good at being patient.
Our spouses are going to love this.
I know but I think about it all the time because it's funny. I tell my guys all the time, trust the process, be patient. Yeah. You can't rush it. And sometimes I need to hear my own advice. So I thought, what a better way to talk about just the importance of why patience, when it comes to everything, your spouses, your kids, your business, your work, health, why patience is such an important piece. Yeah. And most people don't have it. So,
well, I think we also live in a society of quick fixes. Mm-hmm. We want it now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we want to talk about patience. It's kind of hard to go to direction when I don't have it myself.
I know. So what do you, obviously, it's the same thing with me. Yeah. I thought about this topic going, okay, I know that this is something I'm weak at doing. Yeah. Something I know I need to be better at. What can we be doing? What can I be doing today to start to gain more patience? Here's what I've realized over the last 10 years. I'm very patient when it comes to my job. I kind of have to be, right? And I'm very patient when it comes to my kid. I've learned more patience over time with my marriage. But other than that, like myself personally, I have no patience. I have no patience to get in the gym and get healthier. I have no patience to let the things that I'm doing for my, when I say my job, I meant with my clients. When it's building my business, I have no patience. I want it to build now. So that's something I personally have struggled with a lot, how to get it. I guess, my coach has really been teaching me to trust the process. Every time you talk about your coach, I need to meet this person because
my husband's a big fan of Rich.
Yeah, because him and I seem to be on the same page a lot because it's a process, right? You can't, and again, it's more about the advice I give my guys. So I started really thinking about, okay, Ryan, it's time you start taking your own advice and applying it. And I've gotten better, right, over the years. As you get more mature and things like that, things do improve and get better. But, some of my guys, I tell them, you want 5 years from now, today. And it takes time. And I think people, again, they are in such a rush because of what they see online, what they assume there are people that are in their friend groups or people their own age have, or what they've accomplished. And they feel like, okay, I'm behind the 8 ball. So what they try to do is they try to rush these processes rather than just being thorough and just being consistent. I think is the biggest thing to gain patience. Is just, you got to constantly be consistent. But most of us are results driven, right? We want to see results quicker.
Well, and I think you kind of nailed it when you said, a lot of people they're working at their own lives, but then they see stuff online. And I even made a video about that this morning, actually, for my real estate stuff. But I think it comes down to, and I think patience, it has to correlate with faith. Mm-hmm. And you have to have faith in what you're doing. If you don't have faith, you're not going to have patience, right? And then I also think it comes down to the patience that you can accumulate. It comes around who you surround yourself with. I've learned more patience with my coach through therapy, my friend group. Right? The people that believe in me and my process. So that's kind of what I think about with patience. I mean, but I'll say right now, you and I are very driven people. So it's kind of hard to put those in the same category.
Well, I don't think I look at it differently, right? I think that because we're driven, it's even that much more critical why we need to be patient. And this is the reason why I'm just saying that, especially when it comes to businesses, right? Because I think for me, I would rather take us. A lot of guys want to get to the like you said, the end result quicker. But I think if you put more emphasis on chipping away at things and you do it thoroughly, you set yourself up so much better long term. And I think I'm trying to start processing things more from what's the long-term benefit of doing this. If I take my time now, what is my long-term benefit? If I start at the gym 3 days a week and I work myself up to 4 days a week and I watch what I'm eating and I do that every single day, I'm slowly but surely going to see the results. I may not see the results as fast as I hope they were by going on a crash diet or a fad diet or something that's not sustainable. I started to think, okay, what is sustainable? Right. What kind of pace can I work at that's sustainable? What kind of, effort can I make towards my body or whatever, my marriage, my kids is sustainable? And I'm trying to look at it from that perspective to try to get better, because I believe that the most successful people that I've been around that are my mentors seem to be awfully patient people. Now, they may be impatient with conversations, or they don't like to waste a lot of time. They're efficient with their time.
I'll say that's,
But overall, in life, they understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. And that's why I think it's so vital to have people like that in your life, the right ones. And like I said in my video this morning, I was like, and you sent me a quote on this, I think 2 weeks ago, where you might want people's money or you might want their lifestyles, but might not necessarily want their lives.
Sure.
And I think it comes down to something I learned in therapy a year ago. It was a year and a half ago that really changed the way I view my business and my success in my business. Is you have to find your own measuring stick of success, because not everybody's is the same. And then you got to build a plan for that. And somebody else might look like they're doing it faster, but you don't know what's behind what they're posting on social media, and I look at there's some other realtors around my age, and they've built big businesses, but their family, one went through a very public divorce, and one is not good at their family life either. And I'm like, I don't want that. Sure. If I have to sell their production to have that, I don't want it. I want the opposite.
No, I just look at, I look at little things. It's like just the, like you said, we have very stressful jobs too. So it's not only that, being driven, those type of things, we have a very stressful job. And I think what ends up happening is you end up you can't take out your frustration sometimes on your clients. You can't let your staff know that you're frustrated. So what you end up doing is you have this buildup. I think this is for me personally, is I have this buildup so that I'll snap at Allison, or I'll snap at the kids, and I do it a lot. And I just did it yesterday, and it's over something really, for the most part, pretty small. Yeah. But it's like you have all this built up, just like where you want to just have a release.
Yes.
And you take it out on the people that are the closest to you, and then you realize a half hour later going, why did I even snap at him? What were we even talking about? That goes to tell you right now, if you don't even remember what you snapped at him about, or when you looked at it and go, it was such a minor thing. Yeah. And my kids are now at an age where I'm like, I've been saying it for so long, and I haven't fixed it the way I need to. And, again, this is self-reflection on my part. We talk a lot about it, and I'm trying to figure out how I fix it, because it's something that I'm not doing a good enough job on as a father.
What are you rushing?
Yeah, it's
so
just,
that's, I guess, how you gotta look at it. What are you rushing?
Yeah, what's the rush for, or why do I let things that are so little get me all worked up? Yeah. Like my mother-in-law, Mary. Shout out to my mother-in-law. Mary. This is probably one of our biggest fans, and she's always watching. And she's always supported me like one of her own kids, but she is by far, maybe not as much as she used to be, because now she's getting older. Now she's a little more crankier. Yeah. But I still love her.
Does that happen when you get older?
I still love her. I still love her. I think her patience is worn thin from being patient for so many years. But I used to watch how patient she was, and she was a teacher for multiple years, and she's extremely intelligent. Has her doctorate, and she's very, very smarter than I will ever be. But she was always patient, and she was patient with her kids. She was patient with her grandkids. Things never got her riled up. She always seemed to be very even keel, and I've always been envious of that, because I want more of that. I want to be to where things don't rile me up as much as it normally does. And I think it's just, I've got to stop letting the stress of work come out to the kids especially. And again, they're teenagers, so they're already pushing my buttons as it is. So I just, again, I look at it, and it's not even so much about where I want to be, business wise. It's more about, okay, what kind of father and husband do I want to be? Because I also want my kids to say, you know what, I need to go have a talk with my dad. Life's a struggle right now.
Let's break this down.
How do I go? I want to call my dad and say, Dad, let's go have coffee, because I want to talk about it. I don't want them to be so fearful of coming to have a conversation with me on stuff. I think that's where I'm struggling.
When you're talking about patience with Allison and stuff like that with yourself, I think about me and Cole, right? And when I say Cole and I are a really good spot, we are, because it's taken time. But like the last year and a half, we have really restructured our marriage and our foundation at home, how we communicate with each other, when we argue, how we argue, as it's a compromise. It's not a me versus you. There's times that I'm like, I need to win because that's just who I am. And then I have to sit back down. But when I bring that up, it's because, you know, his smoking was a big deal for us, right? And he's been 2 months no smoking.
Oh man, shout out, good job.
Yeah, he's been doing awesome.
Good for you, buddy.
And for those who are struggling with your spouse smoking, you can't tell them to stop. They have to stop on their own. And that's what I'm getting to is, you know, he was making bigger efforts to stop smoking every day as much as he was. And I'd get on him like, just quit already. Just do it. And he would say, I'm doing better today than I was yesterday, and that should be something. And he would correct me on that all the time.
Well, that's the progress. There's the patience, right? And it's like, and just because it doesn't happen on the timetable you want it to happen, doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Right.
And I think that's the other thing too. And that's with every facet of life, right? You look at, okay, I'm not where I want to be business-wise. Yeah. I'm not in the house I want to be in. I'm not driving the car I want.
But why do we, the keyword want?
Right.
Want.
Exactly. But are you one step closer than you were a year ago? Is your business that much better? Do you have that much more clients? Do you have that much more genuine good clients that are going to be repeat clients? Is your marriage stronger? You think about, so when you look at progress and you think about patience, look at the patience. And like you just said, me and Cole are in a better spot than we've ever been. Well, what did it take? It took patience. It took patience on both ends, because it also took him not riled up, right? And I know how I can get with my wife, where all of a sudden your wife is on you, or you're arguing about something, and it wears on the male too.
Always working on me.
Always working on me.
We're making those shirts.
Dude, it's 100% facts. Every guy listening probably says his wife says the same thing. We're always working on me.
Yes.
My wife is this perfect being.
Yes.
And
we know all.
Yeah. It's to Bill Burr's point. I'm the building with all the scaffolding around it. I'm the road construction in Dallas that never ends with cones. I got all the cones around me all the time working.
You're gonna be somebody someday.
One day. Right at the end, my wife will be like, "You made it."
Yeah. You need to write your book now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, it's just I feel like it's something that as a society we have gotten so far away from, and I don't know why we have it in our heads that we have to have it now. And I think that we feel like we have to get things done in this small window of time. In reality, we still have so much time in front of us. We just got to be consistent. We got to be consistent with whatever we do. It's
interesting for me because I'm starting to think more about me and patience. And I've always been very patient with others, other than my spouse, obviously. But I've never noticed patience with myself. It took until, like I said, about 1.5 years ago where I've learned to train myself to have more patience and grace with what I'm building in life. But I think it really comes down to, and I think this pops up in our episodes a lot, social media. It really comes up to everybody's the comparison that people look online are like, so-and-so has only been dating for 6 months and they're already engaged. We've been like, that happened to me. Cole and I were together for 4 years before we got married. I think it was 3.5 before I got engaged, but all my friends were getting engaged like that. And I remember thinking, dude, like, when are you gonna put a ring on it? And then I thought about it more. I'm like, why am I rushing it? Not for him, really for me and him. I'm rushing it for society.
Correct.
Right? And so I guess that's where you got to kind of think about is like, who are you rushing it for?
Well, and especially like you said, in that scenario, you look at when marriages fail, half, the same percentage that survive, right? It's a 50-50 split. And I think, I think a lot of people even in today, we've talked about this in a past episode, I know it's come up where, these kids that are young, they get married because, like you said, it's about checking a box, and they're so impatient about, well, all my friend group is doing it. They're already having kids. I'm not even engaged yet. Or if they're, they're getting married, and I'm still single, and then you don't feel like you're part of the group, and you feel like you're the third wheel, and all those things. So you rush into things, and deep down, you knew it probably wasn't the right decision, or that person didn't better you, or that person didn't make you want to be better or drive you to be better. And that's why I think a lot of marriages, and again, then what happens is you get stuck. Then you're in a situation for sometimes multiple years. And we got, we know friends that are going through it right now. And I pray for them on a daily basis, and it's unfortunate that it's gone the direction that it's gone. But I bet if they look back at it from the get-go and they really put a lot of thought into it, they'll probably say, probably wasn't the smartest decision back then to do it. I did it because I felt like that's where we were. That was the chapter we were on. I don't know.
Well, and a lot of my generation, I noticed it was all about how big the ring was and posting about the engagement and your ring photo rather than what the actual moment was. And I brought that up in a couple episodes where Cole proposed me on my balcony at my home. It was very special and thought out, but my initial thought was like, I didn't have any makeup on. It was right in the morning with the sunrise, and we didn't get photos. He's like, why do we need photos? You know, and that's just kind of like how we molded our brains to be, is to do things for the outside world. It's
always a one-up.
Yeah.
How do I one-up?
Yeah. And I thought about something when you were talking is, you know, with patience, if you don't have it, really what you're doing is you're forcing things. And anytime you force something, what happens? It breaks. It breaks. And so that's when it comes down to, we're talking about like having the faith in the process and whatever you're building. If you don't believe in it, then why should anybody else believe in you and your dream? Right? So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, is just having faith in what you're building, and don't let the outside, what would you call those, distractions take you off course. Because it's really easy.
It's extremely easy because there's so much stuff in our face on a regular basis. Yeah. And I can tell you, I've done it a few times where I've gotten off Facebook completely for months at a time.
I'm jealous.
And it's hard now, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, this is how you build your business.
Yeah.
Everything's online now. Our company is the same way. So you're posting stuff on a regular basis. You're on LinkedIn. I mean, there's just, the whole idea is that that's how you grow your business nowadays. And it's just unfortunate, but that's just the reality. It's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So we can sit here and complain about it all day. It's never going to change.
It's not changing.
This is where the future is.
But you can change how you interact with it.
Correct. Absolutely. And you can also change how you view it, and you can also look at it and go, hey, good for them. I hope they're happy. I hope that this, if this post is real, I hope that it's great. I hope they have a phenomenal life. I hope the best for them. I'm going to get back on my vision. I'm going to get back on my road. I'm going to get back on my path with my family or myself if you don't have a family, and go, okay, what am I going to be doing every day to focus? And like you said, to trust the process. And, I've done a really good job of trusting the process with work, just because, again, it's still a struggle right now, right? We're coming out of it, and I'm learning a lot about business. And I will say the one thing about my company is, because I've been thrown in so many different scenarios over almost 23-year career now, 24 maybe, I can't remember.
Old man.
I know. Crazy. And hopefully
seasoned and burnt up.
I hope they still keep me. We'll see. No, I better turn it around quickly.
Better step it up.
I better, exactly. But you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about, how thick your skin is. You learn about how you coach others. And I've got a lot of people that are depending on me to not waver. Yeah. And I think that's the one thing that I keep telling myself every day when I go to work is, a lot of my guys are frustrated. A lot of my guys are struggling. It's the market that we're in right now. The economy is not the best. We're all kind of just limping along. Keep pushing through. Keep your nose down. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Keep building relationships. Keep working hard. Keep following up. Keep being the consultative person that you need to be for your customers and your family. Just be that person. And what's going to end up happening, back to the point earlier, is that long term, the benefit's going to be so much faster because you're going to have done all the work on the front end. Yeah. And I think that's the problem, is people don't want to put all this front end work in because they don't see the results right away.
Well,
the results might come 5 years from now. Yeah. I look at it as, okay, where's the business going to be in 5 years? Well, if I'm doing all these things now, and I believe in these things, and I believe this is what's going to take the business to the next level, that might mean you have to eat crow a little bit. You have to say, you know what? I'm not performing as much as I have before in the past, but I'm building the foundation for what it's going to be a very hard.
It's going to be beautiful and pure. Yeah. Right. And I think as a world, we need to get back to pureness and being more genuine in life. Yep. Everything's about the money, the bells and whistles, and we're not where we should be when it comes to what's the important things in life. And I hate it. And that's why I've started to change my social platform to be more of like, I want to bring more light back into this world. I'm not going to post something that other people are posting because it's fake, but it gains clients and it gains followers. I'd rather have 100 good followers that are good people than 100,000 followers who are not negative people.
Well, the problem with the thing about that is that you have that foundation so much stronger, right? So it can withstand a lot of different things. It can withstand a lot of different markets. It can withstand a lot of different situations because you built up this base of people follow whatever it is. And, we've got some great followers and people that are, believe in what we believe. They see what we see. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I want to make as much money as the next guy. I know Elena does too. But it's not the primary focus. I think for me, it was when I was in my 20s. It kind of carried into my 30s a little bit. And then as I started having kids and I watched my kids come up, and then I started really valuing my time. And time became my most precious asset. In my time with my wife, my time with my kids, because you're never getting that back. Nope. Period. If you ask any multi-millionaire, billionaire, and I know both, okay? Yeah. And they'll tell you their time is their most valuable asset, and they recognize that, and they don't waste time. Yeah, that's the other thing with that group of people. You don't see them on social media very often. It may be a post here and there. They don't watch TV. Yeah. I'm asking, hey, what series are you watching? They're like, dude, I haven't watched TV in years. I don't have time for it. I'm reading books. I'm learning about my business. I'm trying to go all in on my staff or my people. I'm trying to be a better leader for them. I'm taking my wife on a vacation where it's just me and her because I want that time. At my kid's sporting event that I'm not going to miss.
I'm not going to be on my work phone at my kid's sporting event.
Guess what ends up happening is the money becomes a byproduct of all.
It becomes more natural.
And it's not because it's not your driver. Yeah. Right. The money just comes, and it will because of the person that you are. Yeah. The drive, the passion. Because guess what? That to me is infectious. Yes. And I think when you're around people and you're that type of person, think about how much people you can infect in a positive way by being that kind of person. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, people's lives just start getting better. And it's because they're putting out in the universe, I want to be patient. It'll come when it comes. I'm going to focus on what I can control. I'm not going to focus on, I'm not worrying about what I can't control anymore. And that's been a long, painful lesson for me to learn.
Well, it kind of taps into your humility episode that we talked about.
It does. And these people have worked with me for a long time. They will tell you if patience is not the thing that comes up to mind when they think of me. So,
well, and I think we also have to realize God has a plan for us all, right? And I do pray to God a lot, and I say, like, I want to live a long life with my husband. I want to please live a long, healthy life with my son, hopefully other future children. And so when you start to think about the things that I am actually praying for, he is giving that to me. It might not be in a form that in my mind, it's what I want. He knows what's best for me, right? And so, I don't know, I was kind of thinking about when we had Kian, and you know the story, a few other people, but it took 2 years. It took 2 years of a couple miscarriages, of just not being able to get pregnant. And I look back on it now because there was so much stress on trying to have a baby ASAP, because our friends would be like, oh, 1 month and we got pregnant, and good for you. But at the end of the day, our son, we wouldn't have him if we would have gone pregnant earlier. We've had a different kid, and I would have loved that kid. But my life is as great as it is now because it all lined up how God planned it.
Correct.
And you have to look at it like that.
Well, you got to find the opportunity, right? Yeah. You got to find what the lesson is and everything that you're doing. And again, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about it. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I am not good at it. Yeah. It's something I'm constantly having to work on. And I wanted to talk about this topic today because I know you and I are very much the same. And it's like, I think we both need to hear it. I think both of us need to have this conversation to say, man, we got to be better. Yeah. We got to be more patient people in just general. And it's something that I have not been able to figure out yet. And to be honest with you, it's driving me nuts.
So then you got to figure out what you're trying to rush. Yeah. What is your end goal that you're trying to rush?
And I don't get it. It's just, like I said, it's just the little things. Is like I said, for me, it's more about just the, when my kids do something, it's more like these little annoyances get a reaction out of me that is so, it's
triggering.
Yeah, but it's not on par with it doesn't warrant the reaction that I give to it. Yeah. And I don't understand why that is. So it's something I'm having to keep figuring out. And I'm this conversation, obviously, our conversations always help me and make me want to.
I'm gonna start charging him by the hour.
Yeah, she's expensive. Yeah, she might be a therapist instead of a realtor. Who knows? But I just think, again, to our listeners out there, truly think about why, like you said, why are you trying to rush whatever it is you're trying to rush in your life, your career, your money, your house, is it because you're trying to please yourself? Do you feel like you're out of time? We're still young.
Once you stop trying to please yourself and start trying to please others, you lose yourself. I say that from experience.
Well, I think people just think that you don't have so much time in front of you, and in some cases you don't, but if you're 30 something or you're 40 something or even 50 something, to think that you don't have a ton of time still to turn a corner or make things happen, you absolutely do. It's so false. And especially now in today's world, if wellness is becoming a bigger thing. I think people are going to start living longer lives. Well, now if you start living to be 100 years old, well, now all of a sudden 50, 60 years old, you're still pretty young. You're still pretty young.
You're a young buck.
I keep trying to tell Allison, I'm going to 120. That's my goal.
My great grandfather was 99. My grandpa Garcia, 96, 97, I think. My other grandfather was in his 80s, but they lived some long lives.
The Bean family does not have that track record.
You got to break the chain.
Break the chain. We talk about that all the time too. So,
and there was one quote that I want to say, and I'm going to butcher it because I didn't remember it, but I saved it for myself as a reminder when I'm trying to rush things. And it says something like along the lines of, maybe you're not feeling as success as quickly as others around you because you're not rushing and you're building something genuine and you're building something pure and you're building something that will last.
That's the key. It's what's sustainable, what's going to last. And like you said, I look at these people we just talked about, right? Mm-hmm. We got people that are our friends, mutual friends of ours. They're going through it. And, unfortunately they're parting ways. And I'm more in love with my wife today. Yeah. And I've been with her for 20 years. And it's like, I'm being dead serious. Like it's because of the patience from both of our sides that we put into the marriage for sure. But again, we weren't on anybody's timetable. We weren't trying to impress anybody. Yeah. We didn't care. We blocked out all the outside noise or anyone saying that it wasn't going to work, or the fact that that we're a mixed couple, we're a biracial couple. Mm-hmm. That none of that ever got to Allison and I. We focused on us, and we focused on how do we continue to build this thing to where our foundation is so strong that we can weather the storms. Yeah. We can weather the storms.
At the end of the day, I look at it like on my deathbed, what am I going to look back on my life as? Is it how much money I made? No, it's the life that I built for generations to come. Yeah. That's how I look at it. Like that, and I get emotional thinking about that because I'm like, what my grandfather did for me and my son and my mom, like, that's the kind of person how I want to leave the world.
Yeah, and you think about, I think Joe Rogan made a comment the other, made a quote that said, real success is that your adult children, or maybe you said that, or someone, maybe it was you.
Probably me, I'm pretty smart.
She is. That your adult children want to hang out with you, right? Yeah. Or, look at the person that you're becoming. That's what that's who your kids are going to become, mm-hmm. right? So I don't want my kids to have my temper. I don't want my kids to not be I want my kids to have patience, not be impatient like their father. So if I really want that, I got to flip.
But it's good that you're recognizing it and you're able to teach them that, because I'm doing that with Kian on.
Well, I always do a great job of recognizing Elena. It's actually me implementing it. That's the problem.
Executing the plan.
Yes, exactly. No, I recognize a lot of stuff. The problem I have is fixing it sometimes.
Yeah. But I see it with Kian, like in jiu-jitsu, when he's practicing this move, and there's this other kid that's all the older than Kian. He's doing the move smoothly, and I'm like, come on, son, like, get better, faster practice. And I that's in my head, obviously. I don't tell him this. And I've been very observant with him, and it takes him 2 to 3 weeks, and all of a sudden it snaps. Mm. And now he's doing what that other kid is doing, and I didn't have to force it. And he's still enjoying what he's doing, right?
Well, part of the patience is realizing that people aren't you, right? And that, and just because Elena Sweetser would be someone that would pick up on something fast, I get like this in business. So I'm like, guys, this is such common sense. Yeah. Why are you not understanding? Yeah. But you have to recognize, okay, not everyone's like me. Yeah. Not everyone. There's gonna be things that other people pick up on, stuff that it takes me forever. People are looking at me going, Ryan, how do you not get this? Yeah. Use technology as an example.
Yeah. I was just about to bring that up.
Ryan, why don't you understand this? This is like, and I'm like, I think it's because it doesn't interest me, right? Yeah. So it's like some of these other things I'm good at by nature, but you have to recognize, like your son, he may have to be on a different timetable than what you think it should have taken. Or if you were a kid, when you were him, you're like, I picked up on this kind of stuff easily. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't mean he's just taking his time to get there.
But what he learned is going to last.
Correct.
He's not doing it for mommy. He's doing it for himself.
That's the way it should be. And you should want him to be that way. So
yes. So stop doing stuff for others and do it for yourself. That would be the main thing with patience, in my opinion. Figure out what your success looks like.
And stop trying to check a box. Yeah. If you're doing these things in your life to check a box, and it's not something that's really that important to you, why are you doing it? You're spending your time and you're spinning your wheels for things that are truly not important to you. That would be the biggest takeaway from today is find the things that are the most important to you that you want to last for the rest of your life, and put the consistency and the patience into those things, and you are going to watch the reward at the end of it is going to be so much more fulfilling than you saying, I got to this level. Great, now what? And you did it for the wrong reasons.
And who you surround yourself with, what you feed your brain, what you watch on social media, what you read, it makes a difference. And so if you're following people on social media that you constantly feel like you're comparing yourself to, hit the unfollow button. Yeah, hit the unfollow. You don't have to unfriend him, unfollow it. So you stop putting that comparison in your mind and focus on building what you want to build.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Thank you guys for listening. As always, we appreciate your patience with us, the people that are still listening. And I don't even know how many episodes we're into.
We're like pushing 30.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a lot.
Almost my age. We're far off from yours.
Yeah, exactly. we have a little more to go. But
do us a favor and share this with a friend that you thought about or a family member that you thought about. We really want to get this podcast out because we believe in what we're making.
Yes, we appreciate the support. Be patient.
And I want to put it on record. Whatever you did to the coffee today was actually really good.
Thank you.
It was a great one.
I will say, if you guys have advice for me, for someone that is impatient, please let us know what you have incorporated in your life that's helped you focus on patience. Because trust me and Elena are working. We're working.
Always working on us.
Always working on me. She's already there. She's already perfect. Ask Cole. I'll tell you. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.